I think we're live, folks. Good evening, everybody. I see there's a lot of chat going on already, which is always encouraging to see. I hope you're all well on a Sunday evening, and I bet a lot of you are wondering why we're doing another live stream so quick and so close together. And the reason is we haven't done one for such a long time, and then we had one last week, and there's a lot of information to be spread, a lot of good news, a lot of interesting stuff going on. So I said to Melanie yesterday morning that we need to do a live stream tonight, and here we are. Let's just catch up with a few names first. If any of us is following me on YouTube, give me a like on YouTube. Just on the like underneath, just press like. That would be fantastic. It just makes it more visible on social media for us. I think we're all watching at the moment on YouTube. No, we're not actually. I do apologize. We've got a cohort of people watching on YouTube and Facebook, which is good. Good evening to Bloodicus Detects and History Unearthed. Dave Taylor from Yorkshire, Andrew Tiffin and Martin Davis. Good evening to you, sir. Dale is on. Dale, Detecting with Dale. Jim Lodge and Jeff Block. Just a mention of, just a very quick, and I mean very quick, mention about Dale. Who tries very hard in the world of detecting, does Dale, especially on YouTube. He made a rather significant find today. I'm not going to give any more information out than that, other than to say, watch this space. Dale did make a very interesting find, and not an ancient find, but equally just as important as any find from any period, I think. Bleeping Marvellous, good evening to you, sir. Hope you're well. Andrew Tiffin, hope you're well. I won't even pull you up, Andrew, for spelling my name wrong, but it's been spelt worse than that before, mate. Who else have we got? We've got just said Jim Lodge. Dark Knight Detectorist is on. Jason from the Dark Knight Detecting fame. And Andrew Allen, good to see you, Andrew. I don't think I've seen you for some time. I don't think you were on the last stream, but anyway, there you go. Hope you can all hear me well. If anybody can say yes, they can hear me well, that'd be fantastic, because you can hear me. Okay. Melanie filled that in nicely. Dirt Diggers, Yorkshire, good evening to you, sir. Hope you're well. Let me just see if I can get you up on the screen. There we go. I think we've never had this person on before on a live stream, but you're more than welcome. Equally as welcome as everybody. Abby Sapphire Clark and TV Sat. That's TV Sav and T Sav. Louise Ratcliffe, good to see Louise on, actually. That's good. That's a nice change, having Louise on here. That's nice to see. And David Burtonshaw, my old friend Dibby from North Wales. He'll pull me up on that. Lawrence Hartley, how are you, sir? Good to hear from you. And we've got William Morris as well. I've not seen William for a while, so he's back. It's good to hear and see all these old familiar faces coming on, and we're up to 44 people on the live. So if you're watching from YouTube, as I said earlier, just give us a like. That would be fantastic. You just press the like button, and some of you might not even be subscribed. Melanie's just going to show me something, guys. That's a new feature that I can't see from this side, apparently. Oh, yeah, people can use emojis and things and hearts and things. Oh, right, okay, very nice. They're getting with the times then, StreamYard. Okay, thanks for that, Mel. Hello, Graham, from a Facebook user who I can't see, unfortunately. I'm going to say hello back. Jamie Ferguson, welcome, sir. And we've got quite a mixture of new faces from the last stream that we did only, 7 or 8 days ago. Which is good. Now then, there's a lot to cover tonight. I'm going to start at the top of the list. Rob Hunter.
Sheila Button, Al Plebby, Les Johnson.
Yeah, there's quite a lot. Hey, Mel, I miss you, lass. There you are, Mel. What? You've got one on the screen. Hi, Mel, I miss you, lass. Oh, and that'll be Louise, yeah. And if I'm missing anybody, Jimbo, good to see Jim. Did I see... No, I didn't see. No. I think Jim is talking about Tat, and Tat's not on. It's a different Dave Taylor, Jim. Anyway, right, because there's 7 Dave Taylors in the detecting world, maybe 8. So there's 8 Dave Taylors out there, 7 or 8 that detect, which is amazing, really, when you think of it. Right, okay. So a bit of fun. First off, those that follow us on the Unearthed Facebook group, which is a rather select group of about 8,500 or more, would have noticed yesterday that somebody had seen my pickup, my Unearthed pickup, going through a drive-through here in the Furness area, and had put it on Facebook and took a picture. They were obviously behind us in the drive-through, and put a picture of the pickup on social media, which was rather funny, I thought. Just bear with me a sec. Let me just put Wayne up because Wayne's talking and I don't want to be ignorant. Wayne, hello, Graham. Smashing it today. Bullhead and a nice watchwinder. Well done, sir. Good to see you, Wayne. So somebody had spotted my pickup and put it on Facebook and said, look at this sort of thing. And it got me thinking. So about a decade ago, 10 years ago, or slightly less, we used to do a competition, a one-off or an occasional competition, that if anybody spotted the Unearthed pickup on its travels up and down the country, excluding the Furness area where we drive around a lot in it anyway, but outside of this area, if anybody spotted the Unearthed pickup on the motorway or dual carriageways or in a different county, I do travel from time to time in lots and lots of different counties, detecting related. Take a picture of it, upload it on the Facebook, and we'll send you some goodies. So the Unearthed Spot the Pickup, whether it's a competition or not. Well, what do you say? Would you class as a competition? It's a bit of a quirky comp, bit of fun. So outside of the Furness area, if anybody spots the Unearthed pickup on its travels, feel free to upload it on social media and tag us in it, and we'll send you some goodies. There you go. We'll send you some merchandise, because it's all about merchandise this day and age, isn't it, folks? So that's that one. So if you spot the Unearthed pickup knocking around outside of the Furness area, whatever day it is, take a picture of it, upload it, and we'll send you some free goodies, which is always nice. It was a really, really popular competition. I don't know if anybody here remembers them days when we had the first Texas group on Facebook and we had the Unearthed page was big in its early formation, and we used to put it up on there. If anybody spots the Unearthed pickup, I think somebody spotted us in Yorkshire once, somebody spotted us in Norfolk, somebody spotted us in Wiltshire and uploaded the photographs. I think there was one in Newark when we were detecting around that area and all over the place, basically. Somebody spotted us on the M62 once, took a picture, uploaded it, and they got some free gear. Loads of people beep and wave, they do, yes. So that is the actually I'm going to put this up on the screen. I bet you don't get to Kent much. No, it's not often I'm in Kent. No, I am Essex. I was in Essex last year. Suffolk, Norfolk, Lincolnshire, Yorkshire, Wiltshire, them sort of places. But yeah, make sure you're not doing anything you shouldn't, like eating burgers without telling Mel. Well, the story actually is regarding the drive-through. Let's get it over and done with. Mel wanted a McDonald's breakfast, folks, and Mel can't drive. She can drive, but she doesn't drive. So she's not had. I don't think Mel's been on the road, as long as I've known her. I've never known her drive a car. So I play chauffeur when I go through these drive-throughs, and Mel wanted a breakfast. So there you go, folks. That's what it was all about.
Did you have a breakfast?
I had to join her in having a breakfast, which she enjoyed much more than I did, I have to say. So there you go, folks. That's the spot the pickup, the Unearthed pickup, which is good. Let's do it. If you can keep that in the back burner, if you spot us anywhere, upload the picture and we'll send you some gear. Because we are all about the detectorists, remember, we're not just a faceless shop that wants your sales. We're just about engaging and giving advice and guidance to the detectorists. What did you say? No, it's true. Yeah, Mel's agreeing. Sam's World of Rations and Detecting. How are you? Lee Harrison, good to see you, Lee. Hope you're well. Robert Hunter Collinson's back on. That's good to see him. So lots of familiar faces, but completely different from last week, which is always good. It's always nice to have a different audience to mix things up. We've got about 45, 46 people watching, mainly on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, just smash that like button. Just press the like button and it gives us a bit more encouragement Melanie's waffling in the background, folks. I'm just going to ignore that. Right. So we've got that. Now, some of you will know this, and I mentioned it in the last stream, but I think it's important that we mention it tonight because there's a lot of people here that maybe didn't see it. There is an event where we're quite privileged, I think is the right word, privileged to be involved in the Treasures Unearthed event in Chester Cathedral, of all places, on the 19th of August this year. Now, there was one last year which was very, very popular and successful, and on the back of that success, the it's the regional NCMD, National Council of Metal Detecting, are putting another one on at Chester Cathedral this year on the 19th of August, folks, and we are there supporting that with the Unearthed trade stand, but also Minelab are sponsoring it, so there's some bits and pieces to be picked up on for certain members to win, which is always encouraging. Now, if you do come along and you decide to come along to the Chester event, it's a celebration of metal detectorists and their finds, which you'll find extremely interesting. So there's some wonderful finds on display by the different clubs from the region that they bring along, and they have some really professional displays on show. And there's about, what would you say, Mel? A dozen different clubs? Possibly? Yeah, maybe more than a dozen different clubs, with all their members' finds on display from over the years. And obviously the get into a competition and to see who wins the best club display. And you'll see some wonderful, really wonderful finds, and meet some wonderful people. It's all detecting related, the public. A lot of very knowledgeable people, as Melanie just said, and there's also quite a lot of nice people to meet for the first time. You might meet some YouTubers, you might meet some social media guys that you've got friendly with over the years. Somebody's saying on here as a Facebook user, Chester last year was a scorcher. It was. I'm not sure who that is because I can't see a name, but yes, I agree. If you were there, it's such a good event. Now, if you come along to the Chester event on the day, and you're a YouTube Unearthed member, so we have a membership section of this on YouTube, so where members can join, the subscription join, $1.99 a month. You come along, you say to us about being a member, we'll check you on the list, and you'll get a free bag of merchandise on the day, which is rather cool. So it'll be good to see people. There was a lot of people there last year that came off the street, so there was a lot of people, general public, that came in. Probably didn't know a great deal about metal detecting from the start, and learned a lot and seen a lot of good finds and met a lot of nice people. Like I said, there'll be different. The finds liaison officers will be there. The NCMD will have a stall there. We've got the trade stall there, and there's loads and loads of things going on. People showing you how to make hammered coins, minting the coins. It's just well worth going. Chester's a wonderful place, and it's very, very near a lot of food outlets, which is always good. So if you're starving, you can either buy food in the cathedral itself, which is rather nice, or you can just nip out the main door, and you'll be treated to a whole host of different food outlets at lunchtime or before. So that's on at 10 o'clock in the morning till 4. So it's a 6-hour event, and it's the celebration of detectorists and detecting on Treasures Unearthed, Chester Cathedral, 19th of August, if you want to put that in the diary. I think Sammy got you a nice cake last time. There you go. Melanie said Sammy.
Dave got me tea.
And Dave Reed got you nice cups of tea. Well, there you go. Make of that what you want. And I got her a stale pie. There's me saying how good the food is there. And apparently I got her a stale pie, folks. There you go. You can't win, can you? Next time, Melanie can actually get up off her backside, off the chair, walk across the room, out of the door, into the main street, and get her own food, folks. There you go. Happy days. And she's going to, she said. So, as we have a little bit of a debate about a stale pie, let's move on. I'm going to put that up again, and I'll mention that again, because I think it's we didn't do enough from our side publicity based around the Chester event last year. Even though there was literally hundreds and hundreds of people flocking through the doors, there was more, I think, more general public than detectorists, which is a shame, because if a lot of detectorists come, not only can you have a look around the ancient cathedral itself, which is, we're based, our trade store is based in the eaves or underneath the medieval foundations of the cathedral, which is amazing. It's just amazing, an amazing place. Eat an apple, Dale. Lol, works for me down to 16 stone. Now, good man, Jace. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth even mentioning that now. So there you go. It sounds like there's lots of people wanting to go. Let's have a look. Let's just have a look if there's anything that we get. Yeah, there's nothing else. Nothing else. Lots of people said that they were there, which is good. Right. Okay. So that's the Chester event, which is really interesting. Now, off the back of that, we are going to be doing we're talking about events, so we may as well stay on the same theme as events. All right, just bear with me a sec. I think this is somebody from Facebook. Hello, Graham. Did Mel mention Jeff Gardner, who sold detectors at Caton? Both Andy and I will be at Chester, looking forward to it. I guess that's Bill Rigby. And he mentioned about Jeff Gardner, but Mel's not on Facebook to see who that was. But yeah, Jeff Gardner was long before I opened up Unearthed as a metal detecting shop here for the Northwest. Jeff Gardner was my go-to person that I used to buy my metal detectors off way back in the 1980s and the 90s. I bought a Toltec 100 off Jeff, a Toltec 80 off Jeff, Fisher 1266 I think off Jeff, Eagle Spectrum off Jeff, Minelab Tribune off Jeff. It's all coming back to me. What else did I buy off Jeff? Anyway, there you go, folks. Bought lots of. Yes, it is Bill. It is Bill Rigby, the man himself. Good to, yes, very nice man. Not very well at the moment, isn't Jeff Gardner, Bill? I think he's got dementia, which is a shame. Hell of a nice fella. Used to accompany me odd times out detecting in the fields. I used to invite him up into Cumbria on some of our permissions, and we used to have some terrific days out detecting on a Sunday in the winter, which was always nice. Anybody who remembers Jeff Gardner, put it up on the screen, which will be good and interesting. Lee, you're asking when it is. It's the 19th of August, which is the Chester event, Treasures Unearthed. Yeah, it is sad to hear. Yeah, I mean, he'd be getting on a bit now, Jeff, but what a man. What a nice man. I always remember taking him up to a Roman site that had a medieval occupation on it, actually. There was the medieval folk were on it after the Romans, this particular permission I had in Kendal, of all places. And Jeff, I had the state-of-the-art machine at the time. I had the Fisher 1266, which was a really good detector. I bought it off Jeff. And he turned up with a really old machine with a dial on it. And I think it was a not a Metadec. What were the old machines called in the 80s? Was it 100? Something 100. Anyway, it'll come to me. He had the dial on it. Quite good machines. Arado. He had an Arado. And he swore by this Arado. And I always remember looking at him slightly saying, why is he using that sort of thing? He should be using a more modern detector. But he still found quite a few Roman bits and pieces that day. And I got a really big Charles I shilling, which I was overjoyed with at the time, and a couple more bits and pieces. But he did quite well on the hammered. Right, okay. Blue Dickus knows Jeff as well, which is good. That's nice to know. Nice to keep that Northwest link going. And Sam says about the Chester event, folks. Chester is really interesting and in an informative event. Israel David, where can I buy an Xterra Pro? Well, David, you can buy an Xterra Pro directly from me if you wish. If you go onto the Unearthed website, which is www.uneartheduk.co.uk, under the Minelab metal detector section, you can buy your very own Minelab Xterra Pro. There you go, folks. There you go. If you are UK based, of course, that would be good for us as well. Now then, so we're talking a lot about bits and pieces here, and this is very kind actually. And this, this is what I'm talking about, the metal detecting community in a lot of ways. Look at that. Robert Hunter Collinson asking if I would get a coffee on him, which is very kind and humbling, actually. I mean, we don't expect people to put up a coffee or a donation of any sort. But that's very kind, Robert. You're such a nice man. Such a nice man. We're talking about Xterra Pros. Let me just take that off the screen, Robert. I'm not going to be too disrespectful and let it disappear too quickly. But I think we've got Wayne Heston King coming in. Nat's loving her Xterra Pro. I mean, we could talk very briefly about the Xterra Pro. It's a fantastic detector for its money. And Detecting Kev, he has got an Xterra Pro and he's doing very well with it. He's had some. Did he not have his first hammered with his Xterra Pro? I think he did. He did. Yes, he did have his first hammered with his Xterra Pro and other choice coins and artifacts, I think. Anyway, we're talking about events. We've been discussing at length about having another Minelab event, detecting event, folks. Minelab are very, very good to work with, and they sponsor any events that we put on, of course. And I can't say that about a lot of metal detecting manufacturers, but I can say it about Minelab. So the plan is to go secure the farm, the land. We've got the land in the bag already, or we've got it, we've got it penciled down. And the idea is going to be we're going to do a one-day event where people can come along. They can test machines, they can learn about their current machine, they can do a bit of detecting at the same time. We'll do a detecting raffle where they can win a metal detector and accessories and other bits and pieces. Have a little bit of food on the go. We did this in 2019, which was the year before COVID kicked in, probably 6 months before COVID hit the shores of the UK. And it was very, very successful. And we've always promised to do another event for people, and it was a really good day. We had a token event where people, if they found a token, they were lucky enough to find a token, they brought it back to the Unearthed tent, and they got some freebies and some gifts and some merchandise, and it all tied in nicely to help metal detectorists understand their metal detectors a little bit better and meet new people, and the chance of winning some really good detectors. There was an Equinox 600 one. Was there 2 Equinox 600s, Mel? Oh, there was Vanquish, wasn't there? And there was Minelab headphones, and there was Minelab probes, and there was 2 600s. Yeah, there was a lot. Going back a couple of 3 or 4 years now, but there was lots of good prizes available, and good food and good banter as well. And with the opportunity to do a bit of detecting and trying machines out, we're going to see if we can get some Minelab detecting, as I call them, experts that have been using things like the Manticore for a number of years, so they can give people advice and guidance how you get the best out of the Manticore. I can give people advice and guidance on things like the Equinox 800, 600, 900, 700. We can do a bit of Vanquish work. We can do all sorts of weird and wonderful things, but the main crux of it is to get people together to enjoy the day. We'll have to probably have to put it on ticket for a small fee for people, but you will get things included in the day, like the chance to win merchandise, metal detectors, accessories. There'll be a bit of food on the go, that sort of thing. Now, we don't exactly know when this event's going to be, but we're hoping to. I'll be discussing with Mel. I'm peering over my glasses at Melanie there because she's got like a look on her face beaming back at me, because I think she's thinking, please, not this year. If we can squeeze it in before the autumn time comes, that's great. If we can't, it'll be sort of springtime next year, which, on the grand scheme of things, folks, the way time flies these days isn't that far away. It's less than a year, or it could be less than 6 months. So it's the planning side of things. There you go. It's just such a good day. We had such a good day last time. Yes, and we're going. And Melanie's just mentioned we're going to see if we can get a representative from Minelab there, which is always good. We can do it. We've done it before. It's a hell of a thing to organise, folks, and there will be, no doubt there'll be some work behind the scenes to happen before it takes off. But it was such a good event last time. We can do it, and we only did it off the back of about 20 acres. This time we could have it as back on the back of 900 acres. So there you go. That's going to be an event that's coming up. We're definitely going to do that, folks. We're definitely doing it. And if anybody's on here that remember the last one that they turned up to, give me a shout. Just put it up on the screen, because there was quite a lot of people. I think we had 60 people, didn't we? 50 or 60? He says he's taking a drink of his water while his throat dries off. So that's the event. Now, there's lots and lots of topics. Lots and lots of topics Oh, sorry, sir. I do apologise. Israel. I mean, I should have known that. Yeah, I just want to know if you're shipping to Israel. Unfortunately, because of the boundaries, and we honour the boundaries that are set in place. Others don't actually. Others will ship to anywhere in the world, but Minelab put strict boundaries on where we are allowed to sell. So we're only allowed to sell metal detectors in the UK. So you'll have to find a metal detecting dealership close to Israel. Now there will be one out there because Minelab are, worldwide, and there'll be somebody very close to you, David, that will sell the Xterra Pro. We have them in stock and we sell many of them. However, we can't supply you directly to Israel, unfortunately. That's a shame. No, because America can't ship to Israel because they're bound under the same agreement as we are about shipping into Europe and beyond. I'm not sure. It's nothing to do with me. I don't think so. I would imagine it is on certain areas, but if you own your own land that's not scheduled and it hasn't got any ancient sites on it, I should imagine you'll be all right to detect. You are welcome, Israel David. Nice to meet you anyway at the same time. There you go. There's always something happening on these live streams, which is always good. Good to hear. Good to get a little bit of interaction. So let's just move on because the topics are thick and fast, folks. They are thick and fast. If you remember, there's a lot of you on here that will remember only a matter of weeks ago, actually, that there was a green waste, metallic waste. Let me think. Program going on where Unearthed, us here at Unearthed, are heading a campaign against or fighting against the spreading of illegal metallic green waste in the UK, which is getting worse. We all know it's getting worse because it's in just about every county in the country now, if not all of them. So the information that I'm getting back from the lady from the BBC Country File programme is encouraging. There's been quite a lot of people responding to her from the campaign, and you can see the campaign directly on the Unearthed group, where she's got an email, and what we're after is any of the recycling plants that are spreading this. If anybody knows who they are, just let her know, and they'll do the rest. It's not about targeting the farmers or alienating the landowners and farmers. However, once a farm has green waste spread on it, for me, it's deemed pretty useless anyway. But it's much bigger than detecting anyway. It's an environmental disaster, if anything. So detecting comes second to the environmental issues that green waste can cause, the spreading of aluminium, rubbers, plastics, and even in some cases asbestos, as we found only this year, being spread into land where sheep, cattle, and crops are growing, which is a rather distasteful situation anyway. Hi, John Riley, hell of a nice fella is John. Good to see you, John, anyway. Yeah, I'll knock you just off that screen slightly when people say hello to you. So yeah, the green waste program, the green waste project, the fight against green waste campaign is now underway, and we're getting some really good results. So keep up the good work, folks. If you have any information on metallic green waste being spread in your county or your area, and it's getting under your skin, and you feel compelled to do something about it like I do, then get in touch with the lady, Erica, who's a very nice woman, very discreet. She won't give your name out or anything like that, but it's all about targeting the people that are actually spreading it. Nothing to do with the landowners and farmers. Can someone tell me why I get a banging good signal and dig the hole and the signal disappears? Yeah, it's been a problem with a lot of detectors over the years, actually. I've experienced it. It's almost like when you lift off and the air gets in, that the signal disappears. It's almost like a ghost target, just disappears completely, and you can actually carry on digging. If you carry on digging with your spade, the signal will come back. That's what I always found. If it's in the clod, however, you turn the clod over, or you can flap it back over in the hole and go over it, and you can pinpoint it from that end. But yeah, it happens a lot. Minelab's XP machines that I used to use, even the Whites machines, all had the curious situation where you get a really good signal, you dig the hole, You go back over the hole, the signal's gone. What I found is I knew it was a deeper target. I carried on digging, the signal would come back. I agree, Jim. Absolutely agree with you. Metallic waste will kill our hobby and contaminate all our food chain. And there is people out there, believe it or not, that, you know, don't like what we're doing and don't think it's a good idea. Well, that's fine. But at the end of the day, when we're all sat there twiddling our thumbs and thinking, God, how have we allowed this to happen? Then, you know what? You've got to think long and hard about why is not anybody else stuck their head above the parapet and fought against it. Well, guess what? I'm fighting against it. Yeah, we've got Detecting Scotland. Good to hear from you, sir. High frequencies are bad for ghosting. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's a good, interesting point, actually. I always remember using the 19 kilohertz G2 Plus, which was a fantastic detector and still is in a lot of cases. And I sold one to a guy in Nottingham area. It was a little bit notorious. I'm not going to say any different. It was a notorious guy, but he went out the first 2 trips with the G2 Plus and found 2 pieces of gold, believe it or not, with it, because it was very good on small gold. However, when he did some testing in the back garden and buried coins at a certain depth, went back over it with a high kilohertz machine, the signals were rather scratchy, where his old, whatever it was he was using, picked it up. And I tried to explain to him that, you know, when you're disturbing the earth and burying coins, high frequency detectors can sometimes be a little bit hit and miss on your own buried targets that day. You've got to allow them the chance to bed in, form that halo effect around the find, etc., etc. There's a science behind it. And I did a little bit of research and I put some really interesting information up about it last year on Facebook. I'll probably do that again at some point. However, all the work that I did on the ghost signals and the halo effect and everything else only ever got about 20 people actually engaging with it. So it took me about a day and a half to write it all out. And then I found out afterwards that hardly anybody engaged with it. But that's Facebook. When you put things on Facebook, sometimes it hits, sometimes it misses. The G2 Plus is like the Vauxhall Nova in the car world. Solid old machines. Yeah, absolutely. A really good machine. If I could, you know, change some things about the G2 Plus still, I would do it. I would absolutely do it. If the manufacturer came to me and said, what do you want me to do with this machine? I'd tell them, get it back on, get it back out on the road with some tweaks and some changes and some upgrades, and it would be still a terrific machine. It would give every single high frequency machine a run for its money, believe me. Right, so I've got the green waste. So if anybody, I don't know if there's anybody on here actually engaged with the green waste project yet, or the campaign. Has anybody engaged with it yet? I know we're getting quite a good response, which is good. The first week was quiet, but it's starting to gather some pace and momentum. Jim says he did an email to Parliament and got a response from the Minister of Agriculture a while ago. It was past the book reply, and it's about processing plants, which falls onto the local council. You know, it's an interesting one, isn't it? You know, it's not going to go away, folks, if we don't do anything about it. We can't just use the same old excuse about, well, we don't want to upset people. It's not about detecting. This is much bigger. It's a much more an environmental and health matter, the spreading of metallic waste on farmers' fields. Rob Hunter Collinson, I like the Fisher F75 was an immense detector. You know, I remember coming away from the Deus 1, the original XP Deus, and I went over because I was using the Deus on sites that I knew there was deep artifacts and coins, and for whatever reason, the Goldmax Power actually had a bit more edge on the Deus. I got rid of the Deus after about 18 months, went over to the F75, and boom, that machine could find stuff. It was a deep, noisy, sensitive, brilliant detector in its day. Fantastic. And of course, you know, if they would have made it weatherproof, and if they would have made it sort of, you know, less electromagnetic interference prone, that would have been a hell of a machine still, you know. I still got my F75, actually. I found my first ever gold hammered with an F75. Louise jumps in, which is always good to see. Green waste 100% needs sorting. It's a disgrace. It absolutely is. You know, there's nothing good about the spreading of green waste. We shouldn't have to accept it. You know, once a farmer's got green waste on and you've got permission on it as a detectorist, it's knackered anyway. So you're not going to alienate a farmer that's got green waste on his farm. You know, certainly not going to pee him off because it's ruined anyway, whether he knows it's on there or not. It's just shocking. The green waste situation is shocking, and it's going to get worse, folks. I'm telling you, there's hundreds and hundreds of tons of it being spread on. There's probably another hundreds and hundreds of tons of it spread on this weekend. They're spreading it on pasture, folks. They're not just spreading it on arable land. If they're finding any pasture out the way, it's going on, and it's wrong. Jim agrees with Louise, and Robert agrees with me, which is very kind of him. Right, so if I can knock that off, where we at, Jimbo? Right, so we've got that going on. We've got lots of now. If you cast your mind back to earlier, the week's just gone. God, you know these days fly, don't they? Let me just knock that off the screen. Melanie put up a slight competition for C-Scope users. Now, we unashamedly actually tested the CS 1MX in middle of last week, and I was quite impressed. If you go onto the our On Earth YouTube channel and look at the latest film out there, the honest truth about the C-Scope film that I did, I was blown away just how good that C-Scope detector was for the money. You know, 200 quid, borderline. Intro machine, very, very simplistic, very, very switch on and go, no frills, but what a machine on the coins. I mean, that machine doesn't miss most things. It's a machine that's been around a long time, but I think it was worthy of a proper review, because if you look on places like YouTube, you don't find a lot of information on the C-Scope machines anymore. It's a shame. They're a UK-made detector, and I think a lot of detectorists in the UK forget that we have actually got a manufacturer here in the UK that, will actually make good detectors, and we should be getting behind that. That's my opinion, of course, and it might change. But, we're very much relying on other countries making really good metal detectors, which is fine. But when we've got a detector manufacturer in this country, well, we should be proud and feel rightly proud to get behind it. So we are going to be running a competition for people that have got C-Scopes, that have made some good finds with their C-Scopes, and they put their pictures on the Unearthed Facebook group, and Melanie's going to draw up the winner. There's just some C-Scope merchandise that we can give away, which is really interesting for people. So get behind the C-Scope competition, folks, if you wish, which is good. Robert says the Eurotech Pro was a beast. Yeah, it was actually. Do you know what? I'll tell you a little bit of a story about the Eurotech. I'm going to put that back up. The Eurotech Pro was operating on, what was that operating on? 12 kilohertz, 13 kilohertz, round about that? Or was it lower than that? Was it 8? No, it was about 8. I think it was about 8 kilohertz. I always remember a very young gentleman in Norfolk. His finances were tied, which, happens to a lot of us. And he could only afford the basic Eurotech. It wasn't the Eurotech Pro with the 8-inch coil. He did one with an 8-inch coil, one with an 11-inch coil. And he took it on a plough field. I was there with the state-of-the-art T2 at the time, the top of the range, and there was lots of other people there on this particular rally. And he was the first person that day to find a gold stator, and that came up with the Eurotech Pro. And that machine, they're very, very simplistic to use, good VDI numbers, very accurate on finds. There's a lot to be said for these simplistic switch-on-and-go detectors, folks. As long as the performance is there, and they've got some cool features that you can get along with, bloody good machines. Really, really good machines. Yeah, actually, I think you did start off with the Eurotech Pro. I think you might have bought that first Eurotech Pro off us, actually. The old CS 600 had plastic iron separation, just like the depth. Yeah, if you can find that happy medium with the kilohertz with the depth coming in to these machines and still keep that iron separation and the discrim stuff going on, it's good. Hi guys, hope you're well. Haven't been on for a bit. Facebook, I'm not sure who that is because I can't see a name, but hi to you as well. Good to see whoever it is up there. Yes, you did. Found it. Yeah, you did. I remember you finding that, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Such a good machine. Such a good machine for its money. And it's a shame, because the Eurotech Pro, going back 2013, 2014 and onwards, was our best-selling metal detector here at Unearthed. If I put my Unearthed hat on, rather than talking to you as a detectorist to a detectorist, they're pretty much with our staple diet of selling metal detectors. And it's such a shame now that we can no longer stock the Technetics brand and the Fisher brand because it's too expensive for us to ship them in from the States. The cost of the shipping outstrips the selling of the detectors, folks. So it's a shame we can no longer go back to those days unless something changes. Yeah, I can remember that as well. Yeah, the old magic coil. Yeah, Eurotech. We tweaked a lot. We did a lot of work around the Technetics machines. I was out in the test bed all day testing new coils for it. Every week there was a new coil coming out for something Technetics related, and we used to sell hundreds of them machines. And people were coming back with Hordes and gold and Bronze Age axes, like you're saying, all sorts of good stuff. Which brings me on to a very interesting. Darren's just mentioned about his Horde. I'm going to be doing, when I say I'm going to be doing, folks, and this is something interesting for you to get behind possibly. I'm halfway, quarter of the way to halfway down the line of writing the next book. Now, this is going to be an interesting book. I'm going to self-publish this book. I'm not going to go through a publisher like last time. And I'm going to be finishing it around about autumn time. Now, when the next book comes out, I'll be looking at people to give me an independent review of the book. So if anybody wants to review my next book when that comes out in the autumn time, just drop me a message on uneartheduk@gmail.com email, and I will make sure that you get a copy of it out there and you can give it an independent review if you wish. So yeah, there's that book's coming out all autumn time. If I get my finger out while it's quiet in the summer period for us, because there's no digs going on at the moment and things, and we're very quiet sales wise at the moment, I could maybe put 5,000 words this week and get on with it to get it over that halfway mark. Anyway, I'm about 7,000 words in now. So that's coming up this year. And then there's another book actually coming out, which is equally as interesting. And that'll be, it's already been started, but that'll be sometime in the middle of next year by the time that's finished. So there's two books coming. And after that, folks, I'm going to sit back and say I've done my bit for the book world. You got to remember, I left school with very, very little qualifications. I had to go back to college to get a lot of my education. So, I'm not as schooled as some, but what I probably lack in IQ, I make up in energy. So there you go. That will be of interest. 2 books coming out, folks. 2 new books. Let me just go back to Robert. He's saying about the Eurotech Pro. Yeah, I needed a new box. I sorted it. Yeah, no, I remember. Do you know what? I wouldn't be embarrassed to go back out with a Eurotech Pro on some of our sites, and find stuff and enjoy it. It's very lightweight and very easy to use. It just had an issue with the touchpad. The touchpads didn't last very long. And because Technetics put a 5-year warranty out on it, sometimes the touchpads didn't last anywhere near that long, and then we had to change them, which was a bit of a pain because we couldn't get the parts. But we got there. We're still here. So we've got the Spot the Pickup competition starting again. So if you see let me just recap. If you see the Spot the Pickup anywhere outside of the Furness area where we live, on the motorways, on the A roads, in any county, just take a picture, upload it on the social media. We'll send you some cool merchandise out. We may as well start the Spot the Pickup competition again, which was very, very popular and successful way back 10 years ago. We started it up again because of yesterday's post where somebody's seen us going through a drive-through. And then we've got the Chester event, which is really important. And going back to that for people that may have missed it, let me just see how many's on. We're around about the 50 mark. Only a couple left on Facebook. We've got, let me just see. We have got about the majority of people watching on YouTube. So if you can give the YouTube channel a like, just press the like button, that's fine. The Chester event on the 19th of August will be a really good event, 10 o'clock in the morning till 4. And that will be a celebration of metal detecting finds throughout the region. So I think there'll be quite a lot of people wanting to go to that. Jim Lodge, just let me jump in. Jim Lodge just said he's found a picture and sent. You better not be cheating, Jim, because there'll be nothing on the Unearthed Organised Digs which you will remember of I meant to mention they are excluded. So if you've got a picture of the unearthed car at any of our events, then you're not going to win, mate. This is for people seeing us up and down the country and not including the events. So the Chester event will be, I think, if we can promote it correctly and get many good people along to that day, will be even more popular than it was last year. And like I said, there was hundreds and hundreds of people coming through the doors. We are going to see if we can get a Minelab representative on the day, because Minelab are obviously sponsoring the day because they're putting forward many different items, metal detectors, accessories to win for certain people, the club members. So I think, I don't know if we got many people that are watching this attending last year, but let's see if we can get lots of people along on the 19th of August. And Chester's a wonderful place, and it's quite easy to find as well. There's parking quite localized. The Chester Cathedral is quite a prominent landmark in Chester, so you can get along to it and find it and come along and have a good day with metal detecting related stuff. Now, I'm going to ask a couple of questions, folks, while you're still on here, because I'm going to knock this off about 8:30. We've got probably 3/4 of an hour left, and then that's it. And the next live stream after this won't be till a month's time. We've just put these two in because there's that much stuff going on. Did anybody get out detecting today? And did you find anything? And the reason why I asked that is because now we're seeing the first emergence of the harvest starting. So actually started last week in a lot of counties. So it's come slightly early in certain counties because of the dry, hot, humid weather. And the combines are starting. Pea fields are starting to be cropped. Certain crops are coming out. Land's being turned over to stubble. Even some land I've actually seen today and over the weekend has been ploughed already. And people are now just starting to emerge out there and starting to detect. So has anybody actually gone out there and detected this weekend? And if you have, or you might have even been on pasture that's been chewed down by cattle and sheep. What good things have you found? It would be very interesting to know, because it's not just about me waffling on behind a screen. It's also talking to youth people and engaging with the detectorists. So I know Dale has made a very, very interesting find today, but I'm not going to reveal that. And I don't think he'll reveal it until his YouTube premiere, whenever that might be, later in the week. Interesting to see Bleeping Marvelous. Sadly not. It lashed it down most of the day here, and I only have 2 really bad fields right now. Interesting you should say that, because we've had arid, dry, bone dry, actually, weather for lots of parts of the country over the last 6 to 8 weeks. However, because the rain started now, the ground actually, I noticed today, the ground's actually softening up. So when you put a spade in, it's not got that concrete, cracked, horrible crunching sound that you know that you're not going to get through the earth. It's just starting in certain counties now to get soft. Here in Cumbria, the pasture's just starting in places to get soft. Lincolnshire apparently still bone dry. East Anglia will be bone dry. Norfolk, Suffolk, and down in Essex, I guess, will be the same. But we're just getting the emergence. That was the dog. We're just getting the emergence of the first harvest starting and the ground softening up for the first time. There you go. We've got the Mercia Metal Detector. Good evening, Graham, and all you metalheads. Good to see you, sir. Hope you're well. I do hope you're well. We're getting lots of people coming forward. After not this weekend. There's no detecting for Jeff Block. Another month for Andrew Allen. Hopefully the ground won't be as baked as last year. Well, I did a Lincolnshire trip last year in the middle of July, and it was and I made a huge mistake of bringing a Minelab micro shovel out with me, and it was just horrendous. I got some nice finds, but it was just an horrendous day. Too hard. Bleeping Marvelous. I hope to get out Tuesday, all being good. Out on pasture too, Lawrence Hartley. Got a Vicky Sixpence. Couple of happenings, Clod Clasp, Watchwinder, and Book Clasp. And Al Plevy's been out with his Manta Core out Friday and found the Indian temple token. I've seen that. It was a very interesting find, actually. Lancashire, much better to dig last week. So I found the Axe Head last week and the Bullhead Silver today. Ground was fine. That's good to know, Wayne. I was digging in pasture, but the soil was like sand, so it was easy stuff to dig. Well, you got some good finds today, Dale. While you're on, Dale, do you want to mention about, have you got something coming up? Have you got a live stream planned for later in the week? Let's have a look what John's after. John's posted something up here, John O'Reilly. Any news yet on the availability of Minelab accessories, i.e. the headphones for the 900 and the 15-inch search card for the Manticore? No fields cut in my neck of the woods just yet. John, I did get word, it was a week before last actually, or was it early last week? It doesn't look like, but this could change by the way, but it doesn't look like the Minelab headphones for the Manticore 900, 700, the ML85s will be available until later this month, and also the small narrow search coil for the Manticore and the other one that they're going to do for the Manticore, they won't be out until apparently later this month. So lots of people looking rather excited about upgrading and changing their search coil for the Manticore especially, but we've just got a little bit of waiting to do yet until that comes out. Let's just have a look. Got out last Sunday, first time over 5 weeks due to not feeling up to it. Nothing fantastic, just good to be out again. It was. Metal detecting is very, very good for the mental health. So if you're feeling a little bit down with work or whatever, personal life, whatever it might be, getting out in them fields, detecting can make you focus away from stuff that's going on, and it can do you the world of good. Louise says she was out with Jean this week, dry as dust inch down. Hopefully these storms will soak it a bit. Yeah, it's just starting to. I noticed today it's just started to soak the ground a little bit and soften it up a bit, which is really good. Was out today in South Cumbria. Soil is still dry. Yeah, it's dry in some spots. Yeah. Will there be any headphones for the Xterra? Yeah, same again, Wayne. Yeah, the end of this month, end of July time. I mean, what we're on now, the 9th of July, so not too long to wait, really, only a few weeks. But we're hoping that they'll come later this month. Yeah. Andrew Tiffin's not been out for a while. Grass is too long on his permission. And I think Louise is putting a plea out to Jean. Fancy a trip to Chester. Do you know what? You will absolutely love it. I'm telling you now, you'll see some amazing finds, meet some really nice people, and you've got the chance of picking up some merchandise at the same time, along with good food. Thanks for the update, Graham. Sounds like the Minelab accessories might be available. Yeah, pretty much, John. Yeah, we are waiting. We get asked just about every day when they're coming out certain items, but it can't be long. It can't be long. You know, the Manticore's been out some time already, along with the 900 and 700. So people are patiently waiting for bits and pieces for them as well. We've got Ronald Stevens. He's saying the Xterra still finding stuff my legend missed. Well, Ron. I know for a fact that you're doing very well with the Xterra, and you did quite well with the Nocta Legend as well. But so I'm glad to hear that you're doing well with the Xterra, mate. And it's an easy machine to operate as well, and it does work well on the beaches. So sorry, Jean said, "Hey Lou, fancy a trip to Chester?" And Louise has said, "Hey Jean, long as you're not navigating, it's actually you could actually meet us if you set off early enough. You could meet us and follow us in, because we usually get down there. I know it starts at 10, so we get down there for about 8, 8:30. But it's like I said again, it's such a good day. You'll enjoy it. Just going back to earlier tonight when I went on the Minelab day down the Ags, it was Al. You were there, yeah. You know, we had a token event. We buried tokens out there. You know, a couple of weeks before the event. There's probably quite a few tokens still down there actually. And if people were lucky enough to find a token, they could bring it back to the unearthed tent and we get some merchandise from Minelab. It was just, do you know what? It was such a good day. It really was. Let me just have a look at some of these questions, because there's a lot of questions coming through tonight, which is good. And if you are on YouTube, folks, just hit that like button. It keeps it relevant for us, and it helps us make this live stream more visible on YouTube, because YouTube's all about interaction rather than anything else. We've got quite a lot watching actually on YouTube, 40 odd on YouTube and about 5, 6 on Facebook. I wonder if there's any software updates. I'm not aware of any, Andrew. I mean, I would suspect, and this is only my opinion and my hunch, that they may bring out a software update for the Equinox 700 and the Equinox 900, which, in my opinion, again, is a fundamentally two better machines than the aging 6 and the 800. I mean, in fact, I'll stick my neck out even further and say the Equinox 700 is actually better than the 6 and 800 combined. However, not as popular as the 900. It's a strange one. Got to go, folks. Thanks, Graham. I'll keep up the good work. Yeah, good to see you, mate. You take care. I'll be in touch soon. And I think Andrew Tiffin, Wayne, me and Bill are going to go on the 19th if you fancy jumping in with us. I'm not sure who you said that to, Andrew. I'll have to go back. I don't know. I don't know who that is. Dave Dickinson's on, and he was born in Chester, the lucky man. Gene gets lost going to the shop. And Dave Taylor from Yorkshire. X-Terry is great on the beach. Found my first 3pence. They are good. Yeah, good. I mean, there's a lot of good machines out, isn't there? There's a lot of interesting machines out this day and age. But like I said earlier about me doing that test on the CS1MX from C-Scope, unashamedly, I did a YouTube video. It was just such a good machine to use. And they are. A lot of these easy to use machines, you can pick them up and you can start finding stuff straight away. I think there's a lot to be said for simplicity and performance. And we're getting a lot of calls now from people that are not wanting machines that are overcomplicated, that you've got to charge multiple items, you've got to program them, you've got to stand in the middle of a field scratching your head, wondering if you've got the right settings in the machine while your friends are out there finding stuff all around you. You're still stood there glaring at the screen thinking, have I got it right? Have I got it wrong? There's a lot to be said for performance switch on and go detectors if they can get that right balance. And the manufacturers need to concentrate, in my opinion, on listening to the detectorists and what they want, the simplicity and performance side of things, rather than try to outdo each other by cramming more and more features into a metal detector. And let's face it, folks, a lot of the features that they cram into these metal detectors this day and age, we very rarely use. We don't use all the features, 10 levels of whatever it might be. You're never going to go through and use all these and different multi-frequency this, different multi-frequency that. You're not going to do it. Keep it simple, keep it straightforward, and make sure the performance is there. And don't even make it waterproof. Make it weatherproof. If you can make it weatherproof so people can go out in the rain and don't worry about putting a plastic Tesco bag or a carrier bag over it, and it's weatherproof, it doesn't even have to be waterproof. Because let's face it, if you make a waterproof machine to 3 meters or more, who's going to dive with it? Very, very few people, certainly in the UK. But again, I'm UK biased because I'm a UK detectorist. So I'm not really bothered about what people do abroad diving necessarily. But we don't do a lot of diving here. I don't know any of our customers that dive with any of these waterproof machines. They probably do with some of the machines that are made for diving, but not a conventional detector that's waterproof to 3, 4, 5 meters. No, make it weatherproof. That's all you need to do. There you go. So there's going to be hotels going on in Chester, which is good. 3 a bit from Dave Taylor. Mr. Johnson's on. He gets his back scratcher out at the same time as reads it. Everyone will be following you to Chester. Just take a photo of your truck for a freebie. There you go, mate. Yes. Stickers on us. Carl Jackson. Let me just see what Carl's having to say for himself. Let me just say, I don't think Carl's posted up yet. If it's going to come on anytime soon. Hello? No, we're stuck. Don't know why we're stuck. No. Let me just see if I can just. So there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people now. Yeah, we are. Sorry about that, folks. We're just, unfortunately, getting a little bit of lag. Can everybody hear me okay? I know there's bad weather coming in, so whether that has any effect on this sort of thing, Let's have a look, mate. There was somebody put something up. Was it Kyle? Was it Kyle? Can we get Kyle up? Yes, there you go, Kyle. We're back on. Oh no, we're not. Just the modern technology, isn't it? Today, you know what I mean? We never really have a problem with it. Look at it coming on. It's coming on the screen. Hi, Graham. Love my 900, but I'm so good they didn't make it a wireless module. Or like the ML80 module. Love my module, the 800. Yeah, no, interesting. You know, and do you know what, Kyle? It's interesting you should say that, because a lot of users with the module got rid of them. There's lots of people that got the 800 with the module and never used it and sold them on eBay. Michael, good evening, sir. How are you? I'm just going to put you up on the screen. Yeah, we're back on. I have a premiere on. I knew Dale would be in with his premiere after I've mentioned it. I wondered how long it would take him. If I can get him up on the screen. Oh, it's slow again. I have a premiere on the 20th of something a bit different, interactive. Everyone can play along. Can't post the link on here, though. But the link will be on my next video, right? Okay, mate. Are we there yet? Yeah, we are. We've just about got John's up there. Just a little bit of lag. The 900 looks a very good machine, perhaps the sweet spot for a die-hard Equinox user. I think the 900 is a fundamentally completely different machine than the 800. I know there's people out there that have had problems using the 900, and my advice would be either it's that the user that's not getting used to the detector, or the detector's actually got a fault, because that 900 that I have is a fundamentally better machine than the 600 and 800. It's just, every time I've been out with it, I found hammered. I like it. I like the tones. I like the balance of it. I like the build quality of it. Everything about it. Should have been the Equinox 800, folks. Let's have a look. Yeah, we're just having a little bit of lag. I don't know if anybody's picking up on that. Just trying to see if, I don't know if can anybody say yes, they are. Yeah, buffering a bit. So I am buffering. Yeah. So I was stuttering a bit earlier. I don't know if this is a bit. Let's just see if we can get Disabled Digger. Hi, Graham. I hope I find you and Mel well. I've not been metal detecting for a while. My detecting days are over for a while. The wife has just been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. I do sympathise, sir. That's such a shame to hear. Hope everything goes well. You know, we do have to have a lot of care, thought, and attention to the people that are less fortunate than us. So I hope everything goes well. Keep us posted on that. And good to see you on here as well, which is a real shame. Yeah, lagging a bit, mate. I lagged out, but I'm back. I'm back now. I don't know what it was. We're actually going to experience some thunder and lightning here in about an hour or so, they reckon, or some really heavy weather coming in. So, I mean, we had heavy weather last night. The thunder and lightning was amazing. And the rain, wow. And if that didn't soften, that would soften up the Sahara desert. That rain that we had last night was biblical. It was like the second coming of Jesus and some more on top of that. You know, inches and inches of rain in such a short period of time. Yeah, just a little bit of interference. I think there's just a little bit of lag. And what was interesting, when the lag started, we dropped off the number of people watching us down to the sort of high 30s, which is a shame, because obviously people were struggling to hear what I was saying and then probably logged off. So I do apologize. I don't know what's going on. We are probably about to get a little bit better now. It seems better. So, yeah, so let me just recap before we've got less than half an hour, folks, less than half an hour. And I really do appreciate your input tonight, folks. Oh, by the way, as well, I mean, we've still got, 40 odd people, nearly 40 people watching. We've been getting quite a few comments and people asking about the Facebook. Change that, Rushy. I'm going to completely change it. The YouTube partnership program is now almost full, to be fair. So if anybody is wondering what it's all about, the partnership program is on the Facebook homepage. You can see the join button. You can press the join button. You'll get your own discount code to use on the Unearth website. So you get money knocked off. You get access to things like events, merchandise. You get loads and loads of offers for different things. You can get access to digs. There's lots and lots of things going on there. I mean, one of the most important things is getting your own unique discount code that people do use all the time. For $1.99 a month, YouTube take £1. We get 99 pence. But it's a good program to set up, I think, as a core group of team members that can get or take advantage of some really good offers. You get things like help with YouTube. You can get YouTube artwork done. You can get metal detecting repairs done with a bit of money knocked off. There's lots and lots of different things going on the partnership program. So it's well worth having a look at that for the people that are wondering what it's all about. But we are facing or getting to a point where we're going to cut it off because there's that many people trying to join it. It can only go so big until we, if we got everybody on it and everybody took advantage of the discount code, it would probably shut us down. Reminds me of the time when I'd be happy to set off in the middle of a field and be caught in a storm. Scary place to be. Yeah, it is. It is. I've been caught out in some bad storms, Andrew, and it's not a nice place to be because you're out in the elements and you're very vulnerable. The roads were flooded at 5:30 tonight. Stop now, though. Yeah, it's just real intense downpours, isn't there? Any news on the magazine format, Graham? No, not yet. The reason why the magazine stopped because it was quite expensive and difficult and time-consuming to time-consuming to create. And we got lots of people that were duplicating with different magazines. I mean, the Unearthed, the Detectorist magazine, in my opinion, was the best out there as an online format. I mean, we didn't do an ink paper copy, but as an online detective magazine, it was I couldn't see anything out there that beat it. Even though there was quite a lot of jealousy knocking around behind the scenes, we did it because we're detectorists. We're not out to make money. We didn't make any money off it. It wasn't a money-making venture. It was about actually giving metal detecting stories to the detecting population and people that supported what we were trying to do. So the magazine has been put on hold, but we are planning on doing something with it later in the year. So just hold that thought. So you've got the spot the pickup comp running. The other thing is as well. I can't believe I forgot this. Dale saying he liked the magazine, and I enjoyed the magazine, but it was very, very stressful. It was very, very stressful for us to do. It was very, very time consuming, and we got lots and lots of people trying to join it, send information in that had been in another magazine a month ago. So people were reading the same thing. We needed original stuff, and we got a lot of original stuff, but the time it took to stitch it all together and the cost of doing it, even though we got advertising, people wanting to advertise in it, it just got a little bit too much in the end, and we had to put it on hold for a short period. And we haven't produced one now for over 6 months or longer, but it will come back. Just a word of, and I can't believe I forgot this, and I just wish I could have mentioned it while we had 50 odd people on. Anyway, never mind. If you look on the Unearthed website, you'll see a new section which is called tuition. Now, for a number of years, we've offered one-to-one tuition with people that want to learn how to detect correctly. Now, I've got to be careful how I choose my words here because I don't want to come across as being patronizing to anybody. But there's a lot of people that buy detectors for the first time and they think in their wisdom that they're doing everything by the book and correctly. But actually, when you look at it from afar, they're making some vital mistakes and some errors, and things are a little bit different to how they see it. And there's a lot of people out there that don't understand how to set a detector up and don't understand how to swing a detector properly and don't understand how to dig a hole properly, believe it or not, and don't understand that I use a pinpoint probe and everything else mitted in. Because if you're a newbie, just like we were going back a number of years, a long, long time ago in some respects, trial and error, you taught yourself how to detect properly, but that could have took a long time. I can remember detecting with a guy that used to swing his detector so quick. It was actually a wonder that he actually found things, but he did. And the reason why he did find stuff because he detected that quickly is because he covered that much ground. So the law of averages kicked in, and eventually he'd walk over something half decent. But there's a lot of people out there that would like to learn how to detect properly. So we've been teaching people on the Unearthed testbed for a number of years now, giving them one-to-one tuition how to detect properly and everything else. However, for the first time, we've actually put these sessions on the website so people can book an hour session with me on the Unearthed test bed. I'll bring the machine along and all the accessories. They don't only have to bring themselves. I will teach them how to detect properly, learn the machine, learn the sweep speed, learn what to look for, learn what to listen for, learn to set the detector, learn to dig a hole, the whole lot. There's 3 separate sections there. There's a half-day session, there's a 1-hour session, there's a 2-hour session. So for the first time in 10 years, even though we've been doing it for nearly 10 years, one-to-one tuitions, we've actually put it on the website for the first time. So there you go, folks. That's something to consider for some people that would like to learn a little bit more about detecting. Lee Harrison finally persuaded the wife to come detecting for the first time the other week. She really enjoyed it and was getting just as excited when we got a decent signal. Hey, listen, Lee, your wife is more than happy. I'm more than happy for your wife to join Team Unearthed, because you are a very valued member, even though you live so far away and you can't make every dig. More than welcome, mate. Every time I see you turn up in a car to the Team Unearthed digs, it's such a pleasure to see you, honestly. I mean, I love the people that now attend the Unearthed digs. We had plonkers on there in the past. We had people that didn't know what they were doing and didn't understand basic, basic requirements, and they didn't understand basic commands, how to detect properly and what to do and not what to do. Now, for the first time, we've got a team of Unearthed members together that I'm absolutely 100% relaxed with. I mean, I can just put a dig on, a Team Unearthed dig, and I'm 100% confident that every single person on that dig will dig a neat hole. They won't leave a mess. They won't wander onto the next farm. They won't do anything untoward. And I can't say that about some of the past members that we've had going back 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I would say the past couple of years, we've had a really strong knit team of people, and long may it continue. So your wife, mate, would be more than welcome to come along. Let's have a look at where we are, mate. Where we are. What Dirt Diggers, hello and good tidings. What's the good word, Dirt Lovers? So that's Dirt Diggers UK. Welcome, mate. I hope you're well. Michael saying, wouldn't that need to be machine dependent to a point? Not necessarily, because if you're a newbie or you want to start detecting and you're not fully aware of what to do, then any metal detector. So, for example, if somebody comes to me and says, listen, I want to learn about detecting, but I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, the first thing I'm going to do is put something like an Xterra Pro, a Vanquish 340, Vanquish 440, a Nocta Simplex, something that people can get their head around fairly quickly. It's not necessarily about the machine that they're using, it's how to detect properly with that particular detector. So it's about the settings, what to look for in the settings, how to set the machine correctly, look at sweep speed, looking how people dig holes, because that's one of the most important things. I know detectorists that have been detecting over a decade or more, in some cases longer than that, and they still don't know how to dig a neat hole. So these basic requirements kick into play. So if somebody comes to me and rocks up with a machine, a high-end machine that could be, challenging, then I would say that is not for them. It's not for them. These sessions are based on people that are purely wanting to know more about the hobby and learn how to detect properly. Gene Simpson says, drove through some storm today. Ingleton to Kendal was scary, I can imagine. And such a lovely route as well, the Ingleton route, Gene. Love it out there. Where we at? We are there. Lee Harrison, I keep telling my wife, when she finds a coin or something, she will be hooked, but she won't pick one up. I'd love her to come on the digs. Do you know what? They'll come on. They'll come on when they're ready. If they want to come, they can more than welcome to come. Thank you, Graham. No, more than welcome. Keep us posted. I hope your wife, the situation with your wife, is okay. It's a real concern. I'm looking forward to the next Team Unearthed dig, Graham. We'll smash it. Absolutely. We're not where we at. We've got lots of bits and pieces going on, aren't we? We've got to remember we're not commercial detectorists. We don't do commercial rallies. Team Unearthed is a hand-picked group of detectors. Sorry, a hand group of detectorists that we pick, get together, and we go out there and hit the history. That's what we do. That's what we're about. We're not about commercial. I could put commercial digs on every day of the week and fill it with 100 people just to make money. I'm not bothered about making money. Not bothered about putting rallies on and 100 people turn up, and 50 of those people I don't even know. I don't know who I'm inviting onto the land. They could have the worst habits on the planet. They could leave batteries in the field like we've had, and holes open, and pop bottles strewn around, and be abusive to other members, swearing all the time, wandering on other farms, not caring about rules and regulations. The group is almost military run, but it's a like-minded group of hand-picked people that are going out to find history, and that's what the Team Unearthed group is about, not commercial digs. I get so much stick off people because they think I'm doing rallies, commercial rallies. I'm not doing commercial rallies. I'll never do commercial rallies. We're in Heston King, Seascope. Where are we at now? We've got my old Seascope CS4 ZX Mini. Has many of the features the modern machine. It just has to be manually set up, and Seascope have superb after sale service, and the UK service is very good, Bill. I agree. I absolutely agree. And Untidy Holes runs risk of losing permission. We've lost permissions off people leaving pop bottles and holes out in the past, which is a real shame. Best team ever. And you know what? It is the best team ever, because I'm slightly biased there because we run it, but it's only the best team ever because you lot make it the best team ever. So when organizing a dig is very stressful. There's a lot of hard work. What you see when you pull up in a car and park up in a field, and I'm getting everybody together and the banter that's going on, it all feels rather relaxed. But what people don't see is the work that goes on behind the scenes to liaise with the landowner, to get the dates right, to get the conditions right, to get the parking right, to get everything has to fall into place, the weather, everything, and the right people on the day. It's very, very stressful. I go home physically knackered at 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock that night. But you know what? I stitched the video together. We put it on YouTube for people to enjoy, and it's such a good experience to look back on. I still watch one or two of the early digs where we've had some terrific finds. And do you know what? There's nothing better for me and Gaz and Mel, in some respects, to see some of your faces when you turn up a hammered coin, a gold sovereign, a Bronze Age axe, a Roman silver denarius, or whatever it might be. It's just tremendous because you're bringing history back to life, and I'm very passionate about it. And you're wonderful people. You're all wonderful, wonderful people. And we're going to continue down that route. We've asked people to join through friends that they know and that they can trust and they can recommend. So we've built the group up a little bit because a few people have retired. That's fine. But we've got to keep that close-knit group going, because the minute that finishes, that's the minute that the Unearthed team digs finish completely. As soon as we lose that balance and that real passion that we've got and the group as a whole, then it's gone. Dave Taylor from Yorkshire, the passion I see on the Unearthed digs makes it for me. Absolutely. And you know what I'm finding on the Unearthed digs is lots and lots of people now. Bloody hell, what time is it? Argos are here. 8:20 on a Sunday. Not for me, obviously. What I'm seeing is people getting on. So I've been on digs. I got invited to a private dig, me and Gaz, of about 18 people a couple of years ago down in East Anglia. And we pulled up and everybody was looking at each other like they were aliens. There was no banter. There was no friendliness. Everybody just got their heads down and started detecting. And it didn't feel uncomfortable, but it almost felt uncomfortable. And what I'm seeing on our digs is people saying, "Are you all right? Packed up to you last time. How are you getting on? Have you found?" And then all of a sudden you can hear in the background this buzz of conversation going on, smiling faces, everybody getting on. I don't see a single person that feels left out. And that's how it should be. Graham, have you or any off mates ever detected in the Lake District? I've got some land up Coniston. I have detected quite a lot in the Lake District on privately owned. You've got to remember the National Trust own huge swathes of the Lake District and other people, but I have had some private permissions up in the Lake District on small farms where I've found some really interesting things. Most of the finds are from, you can find some Roman gear actually in the lakes, but or the Lake District area, but there's a lot of Victorian Georgian finds as well because it was very popular with the tourists. Night everybody, night Sam, good to see you, mate. I'll see you soon. For me, the Team Unearthed digs are like an extended family, and that's how it should be, mate. I go to huge lengths to make sure that we're doing it right. Where are we at? I hope I can meet you, Mel, at some point. I am a better position now though, as I parted with my partner of 17 years 6 weeks ago. That's a shame, mate, Mike. You know, it's such a shame to hear that. I know you've been through the wars and you've been through such a difficult time lately. I hope things just improve, and things always get better in time, mate. Even though it doesn't feel like it does, believe me, things do get better in time. And that's probably the best words I can describe for it. But I hope things work out, mate, because you're a good guy, Mike. You are a good guy. The most amazing team ever, and I always felt so welcome, and you always will. The only people that ever fall foul of the unearthed digs and end up finding themselves not involved in it are the ones that have done something wrong. I haven't caused what people have done. If people can't make a dig because they've got family commitments, there's no point in them being on the dig group because they're never going to turn up. Or if, for whatever reason, they've upset a member and they fell foul of the rules and done something wrong. I haven't done something wrong. It's you that's done something wrong. So you've fallen foul to getting booted off the group. It's like that, you know. If people flout the rules and do things wrong and wander on other land and dig holes and leave the holes out, like I said earlier, leave batteries on the top, pop bottles left open, don't really care about it. They've got no place on the unearthed digs. I'm always amazed how fast you do the videos. Yeah, it's something that takes a bit of time, Jim, but I always try to get them out on a Monday night, the day after the dig. It does take some time, though. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to stitch it together. What have we got? I've got something going on. There's a real difference between unearthed digs and commercial digs, and that's the way it's going to be. I mean, do you know, I could probably make a fortune. I could probably make a good living out of doing commercial digs. But I don't want to. I don't want to make I can't see for the life of me why I would want to do commercial digs when I've got people turning up that I don't know. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Have we got any unearthed stickers? We have, Ron. Yes, we've got some of the Team Unearthed stickers that are very popular. If you give Mel a ring this week, we'll get you some sorted. Things you organise are brilliant. Really enjoy them. Good to hear Mel's voice in the background. Hope she's doing well, and we miss her sense of humour. Yes, she keeps me on my toes, whoever that is. I can't see who it is, but she certainly keeps me on my toes. She does. Giving up on big rallies, too many people, too much interference, too expensive. Group of drunken yobbos only there for the drink. Glad you help raise money for charity. For the drink, glad to help raise money for charity. I agree. There is a lot of, I mean, you know, let's face it. You know, we're not going to be killjoys here. And if people want to, go on digs and have a bit of banter and stay overnight and have a few beers, that's fine, as long as they're not bothering anybody. But we put an alcohol ban on our digs. We had people turn up with cans and drinking them as we're detecting. I don't want that. I don't want the farmers wandering around with me, seeing detectorists with cans of beer in their hands. It doesn't give the right impression off. And alcohol and detecting should never mix. So we banned alcohol straight away. And that's probably my fault for not picking it up sooner. But I would never have known in a million years that people would have turned up with drink on some of the early digs going back 8-10 years ago. But it happens and you move on. But yeah, there is an element of the detecting community that just want to get drunk and cause bother. And, you know, it's like that in all walks of life, I suppose. What we got? We've got Mike saying Mel is the boss. It's what I love about the team digs. We are all so happy and friendly and get along together. It's right. I love being part of the amazing group. Well, it's simple. You do what's required. You go out there and work as a team to uncover history. It's the only group. There's one or two that don't like the idea of working as a team, and I understand that. But we've got to make sure they've got to get into their heads that we're working as a team for that particular day to uncover the history of that particular farm, and we do it so well. And the landowners love us for it. And it's not about you saying, well, I've got a hammered coin here, I'm going to keep that to myself. You found that hammered coin. You've done well to find that hammered coin. But, don't be afraid and ashamed if another detectorist comes 10 yards, alongside you to detect, not knowing you found a hammered coin, but wants to work as a team to see if there's any more in that particular area. As long as you don't all crowd round each other and start being greedy, it's not a problem. So, working as a team for that particular day, what you do on your own permissions with your own people or on other rallies, commercial or club, that's up to you. But Team Unearthed is all about a team. And it works so well. Right, folks, we've got 5 minutes left. Has anybody got any questions before we disappear? I'm just going to turn my phone off if I can. Is it allowing me? yes, there you go. Yeah, so if there's anybody got any questions, folks, now is the time. We've got just over 5 minutes left, and we'll get out of here quick. You can all go and watch a bit of Sunday TV. Yes, Martin, I will. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when. Actually, it's a good point now. Actually, I'm going to get onto the people that manufacture the coin cases, and I'll let you know. I will. Ricky Shimmin, good to see you, Ricky, for the first time tonight. Always a pleasure, sir. It's a great when the farmers walk around us and chat. It is absolutely, because it puts everybody at rest. At ease. You know, the farmers are just as they're just as, you know, they want to know what's coming up under their feet, under their farm, the farms that they've walked over as children and grown into adults and beyond. They want to know what's under there, so they're just as curious as finding stuff. We're waiting on. Actually, we haven't had a dig for 6 weeks now, 7 weeks. This is the longest period we've not had a Team on Earth dig for a long time, and the reason because of the weather and land availability. But we've got some barley fields ready to come off soon. Now, Team on Earth actually are pretty much boxed off to doing pasture. One of the only pasture-based teams, I think, in the whole of the country, because we very rarely do plough. When we do plough, we find some really good stuff. But we're not blessed with the agricultural land like other counties have got. So when it comes around that we've got some arable land to do, it's always interesting because a lot of the detectorists are purely honed in on their skills to detect on pasture only. So the next Unearthed dig is going to be really interesting because it's around about 80 acres of stubble, a little bit of pasture, but mainly stubble, very, very short stubble. And it'll be very interesting to see how this terrain changes the detectorists because they're used to doing pasture. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge. I like stubble. I found some really, really good stuff on stubble over the years. But saying that, you've got the chance of some really choice finds because the land, even though it's stubble, if the stubble's down so high, you can detect on it, just whiz your search coil over it, and the land's very, very compact. There's no air in it, and the signals come through really well. So the next dig, Louise, is going to be stubble. So it's a bit of a challenge and a bit of a change for people, and I can't wait to see how people get on. Really good area as well. I think there'll be some cracking coins and artifacts there. Thanks for your encouragement, Mr. Spot. Always a pleasure. Every time you ring up, Ron, you just give that little bit of light to us because me and Mel love talking to you. You're an absolute character. See you on the next dig. Don't forget to bring my spade that you left. You're right. End of the month for that, Dale. Mount of Car Coils. Bill Leyland says we're all independent detectorists coming together for one day, one great day. Absolutely, Bill. That's exactly it. Such a lovely team. We've got. What happens is that there's that many chatting now. I lose messages, so I do apologise. A bit late from feed. This is interesting. A bit late to live feed. Just in from work. Any news? No, but I did get a call from the local Evening Mail that want to come down on the day to interview detectorists because there's huge amounts of aluminium being washed up on the beach, folks. Just very quickly, here in Furness, in the Morecambe Bay estuary, there's huge amounts of aluminium being washed up on the beach. It wasn't here 15 years ago when we used to detect down there, but it's turned up, and we're going to be doing some interesting sessions on that beach, trying to work out actually where it's come from. And only detectorists can find this stuff because no one else would know it was there unless you walked around on the beach after a storm and probably seen it washed up. Right, folks, we've got 1 minute left. Thanks very much, actually, for being on this live. There's a lot of things there to digest. Get that date of the 19th of August in your diary. You'll have a fantastic day. Chester's not that far for people, I don't think, in the northwest and beyond. It might be for some of the people down south, but even if you've got to travel quite a distance, it's well worth it. Okay, good to see you all. I hope you're all well, and I'll see you all very soon. Thank you very much for contributing. Bye for now.